Building your own enclave. Now, recently, guys, I've been reading a book called Farsight Empire of Lies. It's basically a novel of the Warhammer 40k series, and it focuses on a commander named, as the book implies, Commander Farsight, basically an alien Tau. Now, I already made a video about him, and it's called the Red Pill Alien. I'll put a link down in the description below. And of course, I could also lead you to a Wikipedia page if you want to read more information about this fictional character. But anyway, what I want to discuss, guys, is basically this. The fictional book kind of enhanced my personal fantasy that I kind of desire to do in real life. But of course, it's all fantasy. I know it's never gonna happen unless if I become ultra rich and powerful individual. But for now, I'm just a normal guy who's just trying to live his life. The only practical fantasy I dream of is buying a house in the middle of nowhere and basically retire there while I work my ass off in the city. That's the most practical and, viable plan for myself in the long run. But in terms of building an enclave and country, or should I say a community in the country, is nearly impossible unless you have like-minded people. And sadly though, it is possible, but the problem is you need social connection and of course wealth and status and power basically. And sadly though, I don't have neither of those, so I'm just basically an average Joe. That's the best way I could put it lightly. And in the novel, what I love about Commander Farsight, who founded the Enclave, which is a splinter faction of the Tau, what I like about him is that, in a sense, I relate to the character a lot because, for one, Commander Farsight is a weirdo. He's eccentric. He doesn't follow the social norms. And at the same time, despite his weirdness, he also is very skeptical about his higher ups. Because Commander Farsight, he's not a rebel or a bad boy or any of that. He's just a guy who wants to do great things and he wants to impress his peers. In other words, social pressure. He wants social acceptance and, basically live up to the standard as a fire warrior commander. However, ever since the day when he started to notice something off about his superiors, he became skeptical and eventually rebelled against his superiors and founded the Enclave. Now, for those of you guys who don't know the Warhammer 40k lore, there's an alien race called the Tau, and the Tau is basically the most goody two shoe in the Warhammer 40k universe. And the Tau, they always follow these small group of alien individuals called the Ethereals. Now, Commander Farsight is a Tau warrior, and he follow the commands of the Ethereals. And as I said it before, he wants to live up to the Fire Warrior standards. He wants to impress his peers. But the guy is a weirdo. And he's not a rebel, he's not a bad boy or, none of that. He's just a weirdo who is trying to live up to the standards. And ever since he realized that the Ethereals are, very suspicious and very immoral in a sense. Not immoral, but in a way, he knows that he's serving liars, and that's why the novel the title of the novel is called Empire of Lies. So when he realized he's working for shady leaders, he decided to build his own community, the enclave, and basically made his own faction. And what I love about Commander Farsight is what he has to go through to learn the truth. And because of this, he's not only wanted by his own government, but he's also, in a weird way, socially destroyed. Like, his reputation in the Tao society is destroyed and censored. I don't want to say forgotten because there are, stories of Tao citizens trying to remember Farsight, but whenever they speak up about him, they the government right away censor him. And this is something that I see today, especially in the political sphere, where if you were to say something truthful, but it's sensitive information, they will censor you, especially the big tech industry. And the novel Farsight Empire Lies perfectly reflect this. And yeah, I really love the novel, despite that it's a sci-fi fantasy. And Commander Farsight, I absolutely could relate to him. Sadly though, just like Commander Farsight, he eventually went insane for learning too much of the truth. And eventually he had to self-isolate. And this is where I kind of relate to Farsight. Me personally, you could say, got into depression for learning too much about the truth. And I kind of went insane because I had a hard time accepting reality for what it is. And now I just want to live in peace and isolated. That's why I kind of fantasize of buying a house in the middle of nowhere and living rest of my days peacefully. So this video, guys, basically it's just me trying to express how I just love the novel. And in a weird way, I do fantasize that I want to build my own community with like-minded people and try to make a proper community, a proper, transparent community. One of the things that I really wish to see, and sadly this is all in vain because I don't see this happening in my own eyes, is people going to city halls and try to, you know, be transparent with each other. Government official being transparent with its average Joe citizens about what to do in the city and what kind of policy they should reinforce. And sadly, I don't see that. I don't see that at all. And every time when I watch The Simpsons, I love it when in The Simpsons, whenever Springfield gets into a crisis, the citizens of Springfield go to the city hall and the mayor asks its citizens what they should do in order to resolve the issue. And I love that scene. I love those scenes where they go to city hall and vote on what and how to resolve the issue. But sadly, I don't see that in real life. And as I stated before, that's all fantasy, guys. In real life, I don't see that. I don't see people going to City Hall and try their best to, be transparent with each other, with government officials, with the average Joe. I don't see that. I do see old people getting involved, but like I said, that's just old people. I don't see most people, if that makes sense. And reading the novel Farsight Empire Lies is something I absolutely love, and I fantasize of making my own enclave. But like I said, guys, that's just fantasy. I have to accept reality for what it is, and this is the whole point of this YouTube channel, discussing reality and trying to map it out for I could help others. That's why I named this YouTube channel Message in a Bottle. Well, guys, I think I kind of rant enough and I hit the 10-minute mark. I'm trying to make the video short as possible because I'm aware that most people have short attention span. But eventually, I'll start editing my videos more proficiently and I'll discuss, more controversial topic. But at the same time, I have to be very careful, guys, because like I said in my previous video, I'm just a single person talking to my cell phone. I can't truly talk very controversial topic without YouTube, hitting the ban mark on me or the shadow ban. Well, guys, see ya and have a pleasant evening.